Hi, and welcome back to Thone's Nibbles, number 87, covering John 19, Power from on high. This comes from John chapter 19, verses 7 through 14. 7 through 11. The Jews answered him, "We have a law, and according to our law, he ought to die, because he made himself the Son of God." Therefore, when Pilate heard that saying, he was the more afraid, and went again into the praetorium, and said to Jesus, "Where are you from?" But Jesus gave him no answer. But Pilate said to him, "Are you not speaking to me? Do you not know that I have the power to crucify you, and the power to release you?" But Jesus answered, "You could have no power at all against me unless it had been given you from above. Therefore, the one who delivered me to you has the greater sin." He made himself the Son of God. Now, let's think a little bit before we get into the detailed analysis why this, as it said, Pilate became even the more frightened when he heard this statement. If we think about Pilate, he's a product of Greek and Roman society. He is a Roman, but the Romans came after the Greeks, and a lot of the social norms and much of the customs came from Greeks. And as we all know, Greek gods and goddesses, who were obviously not real people, they were figments of a religion that was invalid, often came to earth and generally were not very kind with the people who got in their way when they were on the earth. And so I suspect, and I know many other commentators have also said this, that he probably he doesn't really believe that Jesus is the Son of God. However, the possibility does exist in his understanding of history. And so, he has at least this other little side thought which says, "He's the Son of God." And then he thinks about some of the mythology that he has heard or read in his previous years, and thinks, "Oh, what a bad thing this is if I do something wrong to a God or a Son of God," because that was a reality in a certain sense in his thinking, even though this is a totally different story. And this is the true Son of the one and only God. And he doesn't understand that, but he does understand that lots of people in the literature of his people got in big trouble when they messed around with gods. Okay. Why is this in the Bible? To show the difference between God's power and man's power. Remember, Jesus tells him, "You have absolutely no power over me except it be given to you from above." Now, of course, Jesus is talking about God, who placed Pilate here. Pilate agrees with the statement, but not in the sense that Jesus intends it. He thinks, well, yes, that's right. If Caesar had not appointed me to this position, then I would have no power at all to do this. And so there's a double meaning here, but it's like there's God's power and there's man's power. And did God put him there? Yes, God did. God empowered the Caesars to appoint people to rule over areas of their domain. And so in that sense, Pilate was from God, and certainly he was from Caesar, who was from God. Please understand, this doesn't mean that God approved of all the things that the Roman hierarchy did. It's just that he used that hierarchy to establish his own goals. Who is this written to? Well, once again to Pilate. Maybe a few of his officers standing around. Communications. Earthly power is only based on heavenly power. We live in the United States, or at least, I don't know if everybody that's watching this does, but most do. And we always, we sing God Bless America. And we talk about, the amber waves of grain. We talk about all these material blessings that we have in this country that many other countries do not have. And in that sense, therefore, we are a superpower for all that we have. But it's only based on the heavenly power that God gave us living here. We have, back in the olden times, coal, now, and then oil, and now nuclear energy and solar energy and wind energy, and all of those things came from the basics that God gave us originally. And so all the things that we do really are to thank Him. And so our earthly power, whether it be personal or our church's power or our state's power or our country's power or whatever in between, it's all come and based on heavenly power and the blessings of God. Application to my life. Pilate was afraid to do either of his options. Crucifixion would satisfy his immediate problem, but expose him to the power of God, that is, the Lord Jehovah. If his statement was true, that is, he is the Son of God. Freeing Jesus would likely cause a riot and likely make him lose his job. So we all know what he did. God to me. All power comes from God. Our decisions must be in His will, and He will protect us. Double will there, right? If we're in the will of God, and that is an adjective will, He will protect us, a verb will. And that's all kind of, handily tied up in a little bundle for us. My personal response to all this: Lord, give me the strength to do the right thing, whatever the consequences. Really, that's what we should all pray all the time. If we do the right thing, then we will come out right. We may come out in prison and right, or we may come out destitute and right, but God takes care of His people. And being right is more important than our immediate possessions and our immediate situation, I think. Anyway, that completes this study, and see you next time.